Hi, folks. This is Barry with Barry's 8-track and classic car radio repair. And today I won't be demonstrating a customer's repaired unit. I'm going to be showing off a recent find that I made. Um, Ever since about I first started getting really deep into electronics in 1973, that would make me 13 years old. At the time, I was running around making money fixing TVs in the neighborhood and stuff like that. And at that same time, that's when the audiophile craze was really in full swing. Uh, Pioneer and Kenwood, Marantz, all those really super high-end manufacturers were coming out with some of the best sounding audio equipment available, and they were revealing their true specs also. Unlike today, where an amplifier that puts out 10 watts per channel is called 80 watts because you multiply 10 watts per channel times 4 channels, and that 10 watts is actually peak power and equals about 5 watts RMS. That's when manufacturers really, truly, honestly rated their products the right way. And but I'm kind of getting off the subject here. Ever since my early days in electronics, I have absolutely drooled for a certain type of turntable that is the Garrard 0100. Um, and I was finally been lucky enough after about 40 years of thinking about them and hoping to find one. Here is my Garrard 0100 that I picked up at a thrift shop for $7.50. It was $15, and they were having a 50% off special that day. So I picked up, I could not believe it, but I found my Garrard 0100. Here she is in a living color. She's in pretty good shape. Had some trouble with the motor. I took the motor apart, was able to repair that, and then it was just a matter of fixing a few things in the gummed up mechanism, and it's working pretty well now. But I'm going to get a different camera angle here. I'll go back to myself for a moment so I'm not confusing you guys with signals turning on and off, and I have to find my other camera signal here because I've got something really special to show you. Actually, two really outstanding features of this particular turntable. Turns out that it definitely wasn't for nothing that I was drooling for this thing. Here's another view of the. Okay, that's the strobe. That's the built-in strobe. So let me just give that a quick speed adjustment. It's actually going to slow down probably just a touch when I put the needle on the record. But this turntable also came with a Shure M91 ED cartridge, which was one of the absolute top of the line cartridges back then as well. Okay, we're going to get rid of that view for the moment, and I'm going to see if I can find the right view of this turntable here. Maybe it's going to be this. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, the main distinguishing feature of the Garrard 0100 is, besides the tone arm here, which is a very low mass tone arm, that back then you wanted as little mass as possible because the more mass, the more vibration it transfers. It also has this articulating arm, what they call it, a side beside the tone arm. And what the articulating arm does is, as you can see right now, it's parallel with the tone arm, but as we move closer to the record, the angle changes. It's no longer parallel. And what this does is it makes this head shell pivot as the arm moves across the record, thereby maintaining perfect perpendicularity to the record, and it remains perfectly parallel to the record grooves. Even better than the straight line tracking turntables, because one thing the straight line tracking turntables can't do is determine how closely together the grooves are spaced. So it just moves across by a servo system, and it still cannot track as accurately as the 0100. And in the specs and in the advertising brochures and stuff, I've been downloading literature on this turntable. It actually does have absolutely zero tracking error. It was one of the prominent, probably high fidelity magazines that measures and tests new stuff coming out and rates it, and the tracking error was actually less than their equipment could detect. So it truly is a zero tracking error type of turntable. So that means, and you might know by now, most of you vintage audio guys probably know that any type of curved tone arm or S-shaped tone arm, basically anything that approaches it from one point, it cannot perfectly track the grooves throughout the record. There'll be one point at which it's perfect. Everything else is going to be a happy medium. But this one does have absolutely true true zero tracking error. So that's the first neat feature. And now I'm going to go ahead and start this thing playing. I'm just going to put it down on the record. Okay, it's got this cool tuning cue. Tracks very light. The Shure M91 ED cartridge can track down to as light as 3/4 of a gram. That's pretty darn light. So let's. And the wife's asleep, so I don't have the music turned up very loud. Now, besides the zero tracking error deal, this thing also has fantastic WoW and Flutter specs, and most turntable owners are familiar with this little strobe thing that they can look at. It's usually lit up by an orange neon lamp, and they can watch the strobe pattern. And when the speed is correct, that strobe pattern will appear to stand still. When the record's speed is a little bit too fast, it'll appear to move, towards the direction of rotation. If it's a little bit slow, the pattern will appear to move the opposite of the rotation. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the strobe pattern on this. And on every turntable I've ever seen, that strobe pattern wanders. It kind of oscillates back and forth just a little bit. Every single turntable I've seen, no matter how good, does do that. You can see this 0100 has got such great WoW and Flutter performance that even though I've got the speed just a touch slow here, that pattern has an extremely small amount of wander. See if I can get that speed up just a little touch. And that little bit of wandering is almost imperceptible. It's just amazing. I've never seen a turntable that has this solid consistency in rotation. That's just unbelievable. Almost a perfectly standing still strobe pattern, and that's just almost unbelievable. As you can see, that strobe pattern is just almost rock solid. Now I'm going to put my finger on the record to slow it down a touch, and we'll see the pattern. Now you can see the patterns moving opposite of the rotation direction because I'm weighing it down, slowing it down a bit. So we'll let it come back up to the right speed. And you can see just how steady that strobe pattern is staying. That is just absolutely unbelievable speed consistency in a turntable. And I have not yet sent off the idler. This is actually with a really worn and kind of slippery idler, which I'm going to send off to Terry's Rubber Rollers to rebuild. He's going to put brand new rubber on it, so that I've got a brand new idler in this turntable, which there might not be any wandering whatsoever after that's done. Look at that. That is just remarkable speed consistency. Unbelievable. Now when I go to reject the record, naturally the mechanism coming into play places a little bit more load on the motor and is going to cause it to slow down quite a bit. Let's see if I can, not sure if I can do it that way. Yeah, there we go. Now you can see that strobe pattern slowing way down until it passes the point where there's more load on it. Okay, now it's going to come back up to come back down to up to proper speed, and there we are again. Just the most solid strobe pattern I've ever seen out of a turntable. I never thought it could get that good. So that was the main thing I wanted to show you guys. The 0100 also has a few other really nice features that were peculiar to the top of the Garrard line. And I haven't really finished reading the literature on it yet, but it's got instead of a spring type anti-skate adjustment, it uses gravity, and I have no idea how that works. I haven't read the information on that yet, but it's all about keeping the mass low and in consistent performance, solid performance all around. So I'm really looking forward to tweaking up my baby, my dream turntable for the last 40 years, even a little bit more than it already is. It's basically all working correctly now, except there's a little bit of slippage because of that weak or that slippery idler tire. So that was all I really wanted to to get across. This is an unusual video for me. Instead of demonstrating a customer's unit, I'm kind of enjoying my hobby, which is basically electronics and fixing up old high-end audio gear at times. I don't do that for the public. It's just something that I would rather not advertise doing. It's something that I just kind of do for my own enjoyment. I'm really not even much of a music fan, but I've got a cool enough turntable now to where I'll at least enjoy going through the mechanical motions of playing records and enjoying how consistently this puppy performs. So, on that very happy note, this is Barry with Barry's 8-track and classic car radio repair. Unfortunately, I don't accept turntables for repair from the public. But if you have an 8-track player in need of service, either for home or for car use, you can reach me directly at 928-533-9666. And if you have a classic car AM radio that you would like to add FM to with the additional possibilities of Bluetooth, USB, line input, and all those other cool things, you can call me for that reason also. My website is in the description below. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.
Having fun, driving my classic ride. Got a Mustang, buddy, it's a 69, but she ain't sounding so fine. Driving this car, I can't hear the guitar, and all my tapes run slow too. Radio smoking, 8-track deck's broken. What can I do? Send it to 8-track repair center. 8-track repair center. 8-track repair center.com.